Hello everybody, it's Stoney and welcome back. Today we're just going to be doing one fingernail with the Halloween simple nail decoration, nail art. So we're going to go in with a peel off base coat. I already have the oil down. This is a Model 1's top coat. You want to use a top coat that you don't normally use except for this and a base coat because I use both. So we're putting on the top coat. I do 2 layers. I do 1 layer cure, another layer. Then you'll see me go in to put the tip on. I'm going to put the base coat inside the nail tip. And then I'm going to go ahead and flash cure that under my small nail lamp for like 10 seconds. Then I fully cure it for a whole 60 seconds. So you only see me like flash curing it here. And then I went to cure it for 60. Then we're just going to cut down the nail tip. So it's your preference if you want to cut your nail tips down or if you want to keep them that length. You can do this kind of like on a medium short nail, a long nail, up to you. I'm just going to go in here to file in and shape the edges on the side. And then you'll see me kind of shape up the front. It's preference to you if you want to shape the nail before you apply it or if you want to go ahead and shape it to your nail. I prefer to do it this way. Then I'm going to go in with a base coat and just fully apply that through the natural nail and to the fake nail. I did not file the actual nail. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, just depending on what I'm doing. So that is that part. Then we're going to go in with the Astound Beauty Mood Change. It goes from like orange, yellow to red, depending on the heat sensitivity, because I could tell when I was filing it and when it was in the lamp, it was turning yellow. So I could see that. So it comes on orange. I am going to be doing an ombre, so you'll see here that I'm just doing a thin layer of the orange, patting that down, getting it all throughout the nail. I pat and pull Polygel, but I most recently seen a video where she was using an acrylic brush. Her name was Press by Deja, and I'll put her name down in the description so y'all can go check that video out because I was like, oh my gosh, who would have thought to use an acrylic brush? The brush I'm actually using is a Beetles brush that I got into like a set. And they actually came with a few different brushes for actual gel polish. And I have some dotting tools and liner brushes from Beetles as well. But I just used that for my Polygel. I don't remember what the sizes were, but I'm sure I could like find that link and put it in the description for you. So just went ahead and nuked that. You can see it turned like yellow. Wiping it down with that alcohol because you don't want it to be sticky. Then it started to turn orange. So I went ahead and put on another layer because I did not like how thin that came out. So I'm just going through, patting it down, applying it up a little higher. Remember, you want to keep that layer where the ombre is going to start very thin because you don't want it to clash in and you want it to kind of blend. So I'm just going through, patting that Polygel through here. Everything was done. I went ahead and cured it, and now we're gonna apply the nude color. I'm using Savvy Land. They had a 100-gram bottle, so I went ahead and grabbed that. I was supposed to have a dark nude. Something went wrong. They sent me 2 nudes, so I just went ahead and reordered the dark nude again. So I'm gonna try that one out on a different video, probably on my fake hand, but you can see me going in, pushing it near the cuticle. You don't want to get it on the cuticle, just close to make it look like it's near it. And I don't really do any prep work besides pushing back the cuticles. And I didn't show that part in the video just because I didn't feel the need to make it any longer. But you'll just see me going in and just trying to thin out the Polygel once it gets to meeting the orange color. So that way it can have kind of an ombre look. I don't think it was the best ombre look that I could do, but I am still practicing. Again, I am not a nail technician. I just do my own nails for fun at home. And so I did realize that I had put too much Polygel at this point. I was trying to push it back. I was trying to push it to the side. Nothing was working out. So honestly, I ended up using a spatula to go ahead and take some of it off. And then I just kind of pulled it down to make it a little bit more ombre. But I still feel like it didn't come out to the best ombre that it could have been. But just kind of going through, patting that polygel down. Right here is where you can see where I was like, you know what, I put too much. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape this off. So I went ahead and scraped that off real quick. And then I just pulled it off with like that spatula thing, wiped it off with some alcohol, and then just pulled that poly gel down so that way I could blend it into the nail. I really did like this color, and I enjoyed that the fact it was a 100-gram bottle. And usually I only get like 60 or 80. I think 80 was the highest I found with Rosalind, but I don't know how I feel about their poly gel. So then I went ahead and went in with a little bit of orange here with that Astound Beauty, the mood changer, and blended it in. I actually seen Nail Career Education do this with gel polish. So I was like, you know what? Why not try it with poly gel and see if that'll like blend it a little better? I don't really think it did help, but I just was like, let me just try this so I can make it look a little bit better. So we're just going in, blending that up real quick. I did kind of go through and speed up the application for the clear poly gel. This was also with Savvyland, a 100-gram bottle. So I just went ahead and put that on there and sped through me actually applying it. This is mainly so that way you can build your apex, and then you want to make sure that you have enough on there so that way you don't mess up the design while filing. So I'm just going to speed through that here for you. so here I'm going to go in with my 5-in-1 Fine Grit, I believe, for the Panna brand. And I'm just going to work my way around that cuticle area and just trying to get those side walls. I do usually keep it at a low speed because I do go back and forth. So I like to keep it around 3,000 RPMs, maybe 4, depending on what I'm doing. You want to make sure if you are right-handed, doing it on your right hand, using your left hand, you want to put it in reverse instead of having it in forward. Otherwise, it could affect how you're filing. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through this. Go ahead and switch to a sanding band. This was an 80 grit, so I went ahead and used that for the rest of the nail to make sure that I get everything lined up. So now I'm going to go ahead and with the Tammy Taylor file. It's a peel and stick file. And I'm just sharpening those edges and getting it shaped up how I want it to be. Now that we have everything filed, all the dust off the nail, I did not really get all the dust off the nail. I just realized I did not wipe with alcohol. Learn from my mistakes, wipe with alcohol so that way it doesn't get grainy. So I'm going in with that top coat so that way I can have a nice smooth surface while I am doing the design. This is your preference. You don't have to use top coat. Some people just go ahead and buff out the nail, but I still find myself having scratches. So either top coat or base coat. I'm wiping the bottom just to make sure the top coat didn't drip down while I was doing the rest of the nail. So this is Savvy Lens White Gel Polish and Miss Cheering Cat Eye Gel Polish. I'm going to be making like little ghosts. So I'm going to use the white gel polish to make the ghost, like outlines basically. And then I'm going to go in with the cat eye gel polish so that way it can have like a little reflectiveness to it. So here you'll just see me going in with the nail brush, just applying blobs. It worked out for most of them, but the one in the middle that I ended up doing, you'll see in the video, I ended up having to like remove some of it because it just wasn't looking good enough. So this is me just going in, and I like to use my fingers to kind of hold steady because I have a really shaky hand. So I'm just going in to kind of give it that little swoop, I guess, to make it look like a floating little ghost. I was thinking more like Casper the Friendly Ghost rather than like Boo Ghost, you know? So I'm gonna just go ahead and speed through that part so you can watch how I'm going through each of those. And this is that moment where I realized that I had totally messed up before having to like go through and remove it. I just kept adding to it, messing it up more. But go ahead and watch me mess it up and then fix it up to make it look decent. And this is why top coat, or I usually recommend using top coat, is important because you can wipe that back off with like a little bit of acetone or a little bit of alcohol, whatever your preference is. You just don't want to have it like glopped with acetone. Otherwise, it could affect the nail. So you can see me going in, just fixing up the other one. I'm like, you know what? It don't look like a ghost. We'll fix it later. So, yeah. You'll see me go in and try to do what I can to kind of fix that up here. So I was able to get it exactly how I wanted it to go. So now I'm just going in with that cat eye polish. So I actually cured between each one. I didn't do each ghost. I had to do them separately because I wanted them to have different cat eye reflections. So you'll see me going in using different sides of the magnet. I just put a glob on there and then just kind of line it up with like a thin liner brush. And I did cut this brush down. I just took a cuticle nippers that I don't use anymore and just cut around the outsides of it and just take out those outer layers so that way it can be thinner. And I'm using the circle side on this part. You can kind of see it making that effect. This is supposed to be a universal cat eye gel, so you're supposed to be able to put it on any color. I'm just showing you here that I am flash curing each one for like 10 seconds. I don't show the flash cure process for every single one, just for this one so you know. So I'm going in for that second one. My big old thumb was in the way. My apologies. Doing that same thing, just using the liner brush on one of them. I just could not get it to, like, that big one that I did, I could not get it to reflect. So I ended up actually doing 2 coats. I did one and then cured and then did a second coat over it. I didn't use the magnet the first time I cured it. I basically just cured that as a base. But I think that they turned out looking pretty decent as far as the cat eye was concerned. So I really enjoyed using that. And it's a little bit out of focus, so I apologize about that too. And I'm still trying to figure out how to work these magnets. Like, I've watched tons and tons of videos, and I can really only get it to work sometimes. And I think it has something to do with the temperature of the gel polish too. Like, the warmer it is, the better it is to use. So keep that in mind if you do or are doing any cat eye. Now I'm going to go ahead in with the Savvyland black gel polish to make the eyes. I am using a really small dotting tool, and this again was from Beetles. I got it off of Amazon. Everything will be linked of all my lists for what I use for my Amazon stuff. Pretty much nail accessories are in one, polygels are in the other, and I think I have gel polishes. So some of the things in the list do include like things that I just have in general or things that I use in case you want to know. But I will leave that linked in the description as well. But I just wanted to take the time to say thank you if you did watch. Thank you if you are watching. Thank you for giving support to my channel. So we're just pretty much finishing up here with that finished look. But yeah, I did go ahead and draw on like little mouths because I wanted them to be like, you know, a little silly. All of them don't have to be the same shape. You could just work it with eyes, in all honesty. I realized this one didn't even have hands. So all of his ghost friends have little hands and arms, and he does not. So he's a little sadder than the rest of them. But again, I just wanted to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already.